Welcome to Isis in the Bible, the Spring Gathering, Week 1, Magdalene. The question for today is, Mary, Mary, quite contrary. What does this nursery rhyme mean to you? Did you know that the source of this nursery rhyme is debated for not only its source, but its meaning as well? Put on your thinking cap and let's see how this relates to one of the two Marys. Glad you could join us today. So let's start off with what's happening in the sky. So as of today at 333, Mother Mary is aligned with Icarus, and Icarus is the boy who got his new wings, and that's us. And Icarus is in retrograde, so as we're using our new wings, our new loving thought processes, the images that we can hold, we need to understand that that's our wings. Our images is our wings. Our actions is our wings. What we do with our waves is our wings. So today, and for at today/tomorrow, yesterday, what are we doing with our wings is the message. All right, and if we get in signs, then that's beautiful. Important, and I'll talk about this, how there's an event that happened today. The black moon, which is a relationship to Mother Mary, right? Eris, Isis, Madonna, Mictacawatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Kali, right? She is right here on an energetic cusp. So we should be seeing some sort of a sign in the world. And we got one to talk about. And then Pluto just went retrograde in the beginning of May. So people that have been feeling some things related to Pluto, men in your life, regeneration. And so when Pluto comes back and you're going to start re-experiencing this again, it's just another cleansing wave. And it's going to be, and it's aligned with Altair, which Altair is also related to your wings. It's in the constellation of Aquila, which is the eagle or the hawk. So our wings are getting lit up. And then I just wanted to mention still that Lilith, which is temptations versus gifts, which is Medusa, she's in retrograde and she's in Scorpio. And what is Scorpio? Scorpio is temptation. This is Lilith's home. Temptation, sexuality, procreation. And she's gone retrograde through the full length of Scorpio, and she goes almost to the beginning of Scorpio and then goes back direct. She goes direct on my mother's birthday. My mother's name is Lillian. And when I said that, stuff happened in my house. The door slammed. The wind gusted outside. So Kathy and I looked at each other and said, this is pretty interesting. So I've had a lot of Liliths in my life, and I understand temptation versus gifts, because gifts are coming, and they're beautiful gifts. Okay, so here is this morning in Italy, at 9:20 a.m., there was a fire that broke out in an electric vehicle component company. So they're making electric vehicle components. Well, we know there's some not good things surrounding the batteries and lithium and money and that whole aspect. So this fire started. So was it created? Was it done intentionally? It matters not, because look at the signs. At the exact moment that the fire started, Vesta, the protector of the hearth, see the flames, was rising in Italy. Remember, cardinal points are important, right? And if you learn to look at the cardinal points, you're going to start seeing some things. You got the cardinal points of a compass, and you got the cardinal points on the cross. The new moon is just coming out of a new moon. Saturn, Father Time, was exactly overhead. And of course, the black moon is on that cusp. So this is Bolenzano, Italy is where this happened. And it caused major, significant travel disruptions, with flights being grounded due to the extensive smoke visible for miles. So people in their own chart, their days put on hold. There's things that are happening to them for a specific reason. So again, this place specializes in DC fast chargers for electric vehicles, primarily serving the automotive industry with electronic hardware, software, and engineering services. So that's what happened there. All right, Karen from Sun and Moon Family United, she shared this from this brother, and this guy, he said he's got about 5 telescopes, and he's always watching the sky. And on April the 2nd, I confirmed that this is April the 2nd, not the 2nd of February the 4th with him. I'm in communication with him, and he saw this black dot in the sky. So I asked him where he's from. We got the time, and we looked, and here you go. Right at this exact time, there's the north node and the sun. And you can see that as far as where they're at in altitude in the sky, they're very much the same, 5.3 versus 6 degrees north. That would make this move up or down. So you can see very clearly that it's not the moon that blocks the sun. The moon is part of this black hole, which is the north node. And remember, the north node, which is the symbol on the back of the cobra eclipses you. So here's another lifting of the veil, the Mary, the Mare, the sea, the things that happen in the sky. It's not what it seems. NASA lies. Why is NASA lying? Well, NASA's lying because we know that they've done some really bad banking schemes, and they're going down and the veil's lifting. So it's all beautiful. So this brother from Original Stormtrooper, I made a post and I sent a link to him so he can see this. This is an absolute gem of what we used to know. And this is beautiful. This is absolutely beautiful because this makes us understand. It makes us understand how everything works. And it's all about fields, and it's all about love. Another sign that I just wanted to bring up, on April 22nd, I said, yeah, hyperinflation is about to implode in a really good way. Banks will be closing, all right? Stock markets is about to crash. So I said that on April 22nd, and April 26th, the first bank failed for 2024. It's important because the de jure treasury, where all your tax dollars are accumulated, they've never spent your tax dollars, is in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. All right, so the Republic First Bank, it failed, the first bank, and that's in Philadelphia, PA, where the de jure treasury is. Everybody's going to be getting a credit card, a true credit card, because a credit card you think you got is a debit card, and that whole banking system is going to collapse. And remember, Uranus is going into Taurus, the bull, on June the 30th. And there's many signs that came in when Jupiter went into Taurus. And if you know that the Taurus, the bull, is sitting there in front of the stock market. So hold on, because the usury, the profit, the stealing, the sinning banking system is going to collapse. But the de jure treasury will not. So you don't have to run out and go buy gold. You can't eat gold. So things are going to be beautiful. They really are. Because it's time. The veil's lifting. So the veil's lifting on what we've done, our brothers and sisters have done. Forgive me for ever teaching them how to do that in a previous life. What's happening in the sky is showing up. Signs are happening. We're able to read the cardinal points. Banks are failing, which they always do, but this one's very significant. And just one more reminder that we talked about this a couple times, that on the eclipse, 40 days later, the moon aligns with the node. So when you see that this node, right, and remember, this is the node. This is the node that's in the sky. When the moon lines with that 40 days later, it's significant. And remember, significant means sign. So May 19th, somebody shared this with me. I can't remember who it was, but it's Vesak Day. So somewhere the Indians are understanding, and they're following something, because they used to track very accurately the eclipses and where the north and south nodes were, because it's a measurement of when Mary, quite contrary, shows up, because these are signs lifting the veil. So Sunday, May 19th, in the Fellowship Hall, honoring the birth, enlightenment, and death of Gautama Buddha. Lord Buddha. Interesting, Lord, right? We know Lord is Isha, which means ruling goddess. So do you think Gautama Buddha was an actual being? That's a question for us, right? So let's talk about Magdalene. If you split apart the word, you see Ma for Mary. You see the G and the D, which is, you know what G and D stands for, right? I'm going to jump to this and then come back. If you remember, the G and the D is the yin and the yang, which is the word God, right? Because if you look at one side versus the other, the one that flips around is the other side of the field. So this is where the physics equals metaphysics. you get both Marys, the yin and the yang. So this G and the D, we know what that means. That's both sides of the field. The two Marys, the 6 and the 9, both of them, but Lex said they're one. The A is the alpha, because Mary Magdalene is always seen with alpha, and the alpha is Jesus, which is you, which is the Son. And what would lean mean? Is there a word for lean? Absolutely there is. And of course there is also two E's, which are both also a 6 and a 9, or the Fibonacci spiral. Lean refers to a voiceless phonetic consonant, and as a name, its Latin origins meaning mild, silky, or soft, often used as a short form for Helene or Magdalene. I'm going to show you, so AI generated this based on what I told it, the halo. There's essences, because it's an essence. Mary is an essence. It's part of the loving cycle that is part of us being one, and we're all one. And you're going to notice that in the images of Mary Magdalene, they're pointing to the sky, and they're holding the essence. Mary, Mary, quite contrary, how does your garden grow? With silver bells and cockle shelves and pretty maids all in a row. Well, we do know that Juno, when we do medical astrology, Juno represents the earthen mother. She represents the one that's with Jesus. So Mary, how is your garden growing? Because Mary is the one, Mary's womb is the one that pops out the babies, and that's the garden. And this is just my opinion, folks, and I leave it up to anybody for their interpretation and for their comments. But to me, the garden is the babies. And how's the babies going to grow? Well, what kind of karma have you left behind? Have you cleared your waves? Have you done your forgiveness process? Because your garden's going to grow only when we've rechanged our vibrations. So that to me is what the garden is. The garden is all the babies, and your babies grow based on our karma and how we act and what we do with our images, what we do with our vibrations. So I had a discussion with AI on the different versions, and in the different versions, Mary, Mary, quite contrary, the last line is slightly different. Variations include cow slips or cow's lips. Well, we know that Juno, her home is Taurus, which is the cow, the bull. Cow slips in a row, or with lady bells all in a row. Lady bells and cowslips are both types of plants. But we plant seeds, and us babies are parts of the plants. We're the offshoot. We're what grows, right? The lady bell is a bell-shaped flower, which is usually blue to purple in color. Cow's lips are part of the primrose family and can be found throughout Europe and Western Asia. They produce deep yellow flowers in the spring. So nobody really knows what this is. But I'm saying to you that, my opinion, it's like many of you said, and you've really opened up my eyes, so thank you very much. Mary, Mary, quite contrary to what you think. It's not a living being. So before I get into a little more about Mary Magdalene in that aspect, Susan, when she was in her trip out in Europe, I think it was in Crete when she saw this, I don't recall exactly, but the peacock is the symbol of Mary Magdalene, of Juno. When you look up in Juno and you look up Mary Magdalene, you'll often see, and they're saying that you'll find me amongst the stars is one of the meanings, because these all right here represent the stars, and you'll see me as the essence in the stars. The peacock is the bird of immortality. The peacock appears in many traditions as a symbol of paradise, rebirth, and the incorruptibility of the soul. During the first 10 centuries of Christianity, the peacock was a popular symbol for Christ. In the East, it represents rebirth in the imagery of Hinduism, Buddhism, and Islam. Symbolized drinking the waters of eternal life. Peacocks were often drawn on the walls of tombs and catacombs of early Christians to represent that the believer will one day be resurrected. That's why you see Mary Magdalene and Mary, quite contrary. You see her at the crucifixion of Jesus, the Son, right? It was also believed that the eyes of the feathers correlated to Revelation 4:6. Before the throne, there was a sea of glass, like crystal. Well, what's that? That's the firmament, where the stars are. And in the midst of the throne and around the throne were 4 living creatures full of eyes in front and in back. Well, we can relate that to the 4 royal stars, the 4 watchers. And peacocks in sacred art. The peacock held symbolic value in Christian art because it was its association in ancient pre-Christian cultures that were adopted by Christian artists and writers. For various peoples, a peacock was viewed as a guardian of royalty and a bird associated with the paradise and tree of life. The Greek believes that the flesh of the peacock did not decay after death, a theory that St. Augustine once tested. This grand bird thus became in Christian art a symbol of royalty, sometimes depicted alongside the Blessed Virgin Mary. So if the peacock is next to Virgin Mary, that would be Mary Magdalene, right? And of immortality, especially Christ's victory over death is portrayed in Easter imagery, is often shown drinking from a vase to symbolize drinking from the waters of life. The eyes in the peacock's tail feathers might also be chosen to represent the all-seeing eye of God or the celestial bodies in the vault of heaven. I definitely think that this one is correct. For various reasons, I'll talk a little bit. For all these reasons, the peacock was also found depicted on the Christian tombs and in churches. So you can see even here in the 14th century Middle Ages, there is the peacock. You can see here, where Jesus dying on the cross, you see a peacock. There's the cross, you see peacocks. All the old images, there's a peacock. The peacock and Mary Magdalene are 100% associated. That's why I've carried this all along with Juno, because Juno is also seen with the peacock. And then obviously, so I want to show you once again, Juno is shown at the dying on the cross scene, right? There's Mother Mary, and there's Juno, and there's the Son, right? Mother Mary, Mary Magdalene, which is Nephthys. So this is the one with, so Mother Mary, and on the Egyptian walls, Mother Mary is the one with the throne. And then this image is with the inverted throne, right? With the red shift, there's your Bloody Mary, right? The red shift, because don't forget, in volcanic eruptions and skin eruptions, which cause bloody from the shingles, is also caused by Juno. And then, of course, Buddha dies in 527 BC. And, of course, that's the same scene. Both Marys and the Son dying on the cross. So from the artuk.org, Saint or Sinner, How to Spot Mary Magdalene in Art. So you can see in many instances, they're pointing up to the sky, looking up to the sky, death, resurrection, looking up to the sky. It's an essence. When they're holding this, they're telling you it's not literal, it's an essence, right? Looking up to the sky, holding the essence. Holding the essence. There's the cross. There's the skull, right? Resurrection. It's all there, folks. Again, there it is. So she's an essence. She's a sky. She's your essence. How does your garden grow? To me, that's what that means. And it's talking about the different, and I'm going to get into that. I'm going to start researching what those different plants are and what their meanings are, because whoever did this, there's obviously a very deep metaphysical beauty to that saying, because they were aware. 3 times the winged woman was presented to me in the clouds. I seen a shape like this. Once, Eris was behind, aka Virgin Mary, and twice Juno, aka Mary Magdalene. I pulled up my app. That luminary was behind that image at that moment in the sky. Juno, Mary Magdalene, Nephthys, all the same, just different names. And you can see in this picture here, this is the inverted throne. This would be Juno, Mary Magdalene, Nephthys, and you can see that there is an essence. So the essence is there. With that being said, remember, did I do that? We know that the waters hold the memories. Dr. Emoto, and so many people have said they've done this experiment and have proven it over and over again. This is the Akashic records. This is the waters. If you picture this perfectly still water where the fish aren't swimming, they're just still, they're enjoying the sunshine, butterflies, the birds are sitting stationary, and you throw a rock in the water, what happens? The fish scurry, the birds move, everybody is not at peace. They all get disturbed in their beautiful, tranquil state of being. You're still in this beautiful state of being because it's all still calm there. But the waves in time come back to find you. This is where we got to understand that it's our wave and that's our waters, and we have to ask for forgiveness. And when that wave comes, we have to say, hey, that's mine. Thank you for showing me on what I got to squash. So I thought I'd share this with you. So watch this. This is really cool. This guy's playing the guitar. Watch what happens with the water and with the beautiful beings that are at peace. You see the bugs jumping? Ripples in the water. You see it? Isn't that awesome? All right, really quickly. So part of Unity Spiritual Center throughout Canada, Unity Canada, there's a spiritual life assessment. This is something, if you're interested in doing this yourself, this is not something that we're doing together. This is something, if you want to assess yourself, they've created this. Spiritual health creates a balanced and fulfilled life experience. Take this assessment to guide you in setting your spiritual growth intentions. And I won't go through these, but it's connection, so you can just rate yourself. Doesn't describe versus describe. It's not a competition, it's just a gauge if you want to learn a little bit about yourself, because people put a lot of thought into this to try to help you in your thought process to see if experience yourself. Communion, compassion, community, challenge. So that's the 5 C's. So then you can score yourself. Just beginning, getting going, moving right along, and well done. Again, it's not a competition. It's just something, if you're interested, let me know and I'll send it out to you. And there's a heart agreement. We create a heart agreement with ourselves. This agreement is the equivalent of setting an intention for oneself. Personal heart agreement example, I will use the questions that I scored in just beginning or getting going to develop my intention for my personal spiritual growth. I will choose one discipline and one statement with the discipline as my intention and as my focus for my spiritual growth over the next 10 weeks. So if you're interested in that, please let me know. And I just want to share one more thing before we're done. In Lak'ech, brother. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. I should have looked that up. In Lak'ech, brother. I said, what does that mean to AI? In Lak'ech is a Mayan phrase that translates to, I am another you, or you are another me. It's a statement of unity and oneness, often used among the Mayan people to express the concept that everyone is connected, reflecting a philosophy of mutual respect and acknowledgement of each other's existence and essence. This greeting is a part of a larger Mayan principle that emphasizes the interconnectedness of all beings. So everyone, we're holding hands together during this process because we're all one. So we're not separate. The word alone and all one are the same word. And so let's hold hands. You're not alone. We are all one. And that's all we have for today.